voudrais maintenant inviter Monsieur le ministre Hussein Atfy, secrétaire général du Conseil arabe de l'eau, qui va nous présenter les initiatives relatives au Conseil arabe de l'eau. Merci.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellencies, senators, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure and honor to be that the Arab Water Council and myself be a part of this unique and important event. Thank you, Dr. Fadi, Mr. Senator, for inviting me here. To whom who knows about the Arab Water Council, we are a regional entity. We are working with our partners from the UN organizations, Arab organizations, with the close cooperation with the League of Arab States to have a vision, a common vision for the Arab region to face the water challenges in the region. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, water crises are escalating. Shared water is critical, especially in the Arab region, where water scarcity, economic growth, water quality deterioration, climate change, socioeconomic impacts, drought, floods, desertification, urbanization, unplanned migration, forced displacement, and 60% of our water in the Arab region originates from outside the borders. Of course, about tourism, especially for this structure, water structure we have seen this morning, and of course the major political change that happened in the Arab region. All of these calls for a new thinking. We have to have a new thinking, we have to have a new mechanisms to foster the cooperation on the shared water, to reduce tension, to sustain shared water, to achieve water security, and to the attainment of the SDGs goals. I have to say here that failure is not an option. We are all losers if we accept this. My presentation will focus on what are the triggers for water conflicts and catalysts for the water cooperation. I will also bring some of the initiatives, either in the Arab region or outside of the Arab region, of success stories, and meanwhile some others still need more agreement and more work together. And I ended with what are the key messages and the lessons learned to foster the cooperation in the shared water. Yet, history has been shown that vital nature of fresh water is a powerful incentive for cooperation. These were recognized mainly by the global community when Kofi Annan mentioned this in February 2002. If we are working together, a secured and sustainable water future can be ours. Meanwhile, the Arab Water Council did its fourth Arab Water Forum this November, and the slogan of sharing water, sharing destiny. And this is evident if we see that we have about 263 international rivers, with about 40% of the world's population and 60% of the global fresh water. Although this, history shows that since 1948, only 37 cases were of acute conflicts over water. This is reported by UN Water. So these are some triggers of water conflicts: hydrological conditions, the population growth, water scarcity, basin volume, multiple users, poverty, climate change impact, food and energy variation in the prices, vulnerability of downstream users to the upstream actions, economic instability, unsatisfactory of regional governance, lack of integrated vision, and of course, lack of political will. Why they are the catalyst for water cooperation, the similarity we have in the basins, the multiplicity of riparian states, upstream, downstream positions, presence of a third party to catalyze cooperation, institutional capacity, economic integration, good diplomatic and political stability, of course, creation of a common interest within, around, and beyond the river is a key success. Here there are some success stories. We have the Senegal River with 4 riparian countries, and they facilitating closer coordination beyond the water for agricultural sectors, hydropower, artificial flooding, and this with the cost-sharing plan where organization formed for the basin in 1972. Another case is the Mekong, with the 6 riparian countries, where also they have a reasonable and equitable use of water, the funding from international community, and the Mekong Committee also was established in 1957. Meanwhile, the Danube here, with the 19 countries as riparian countries, and they can come with a convention signed in 1994, mainly for water quality issues. Now, this morning, His Excellency Dr. Hassan mentioned about that next year it will be the Euphrates and Tigris and Shatt al-Arab in Iraq. So far, there is no agreement between the riparian countries so far. Still, there is no solid agreement. Even there is no one solid agreement in the Arab region regarding share in water resources. Now coming to the Nile this morning, His Excellency Dr. Abdul mentioned that there is a huge opportunity in the Nile. If you look to this map, the total rainfall on only the Nile basin is about 1,660 billion cubic meter of water. The Ethiopian plateau has about 600 billion cubic meter of water, and then the equatorial plateau has about 530 billion cubic meter of water. Bahr el-Ghazal in South Sudan is about 540 billion cubic meter of water. What's the total runoff? It's only 4% of this rainfall waters coming to Egypt and Sudan. So there is a huge opportunity. There is a possible water saving in some wetlands, in some swamps, and this could be up to maybe 30 billion cubic meter that could be just directly started to work together in these opportunities. Other opportunities in the Nile Basin countries, there is for the groundwater opportunity, where there is a shared groundwater aquifer between Egypt, Sudan, Chad, and Libya, where there is the Nubian sandstone, and this is a very unique example for a success, where they established an authority to maintain the aquifer, and they started with accurate assessment for the potentiality of the groundwater aquifer in this area. And this is the first phase, and we hope to continue with this spirit of cooperation. Now there's also another opportunity for the cooperation in the Eastern Nile Basin, where you can have basin management, infrastructure, irrigated agriculture, electric transfer trade, database. All of these can be an opportunity for cooperation. And this is the initiative that His Excellency mentioned this morning about this Presidential Infrastructure Champion Initiative, the establishment of a navigational line between Lake Victoria and the Mediterranean Sea. This is with the main object to achieve socio-economic integration and choosing among the Nile River Basin, achieve sustainable integrated multimodal transport system, enhance trade and tourism, and poverty reduction. And the current status is in the pre-visibility phase. And we hope that it will continue with the second phase, inshallah. The pre-visibility deliverable is the institution and legal framework, training needs assessment, and terms of reference for feasibility study. Another initiative here in the Arab region, the Arab Water Strategy, Security Strategy, where they have 6 main pillars. One of these main pillars is protecting the Arab water rights. And this is one of the pillars. And also the Arab Water Council, the main pillars also is working on how to implement integration between, for water, integration, nexus approach to improve efficiency and sustainability. So I have to say that this is a guideline, suggested guideline. I have to say that ISQA is leading this initiative in close cooperation with the League of Arab States and the partners, the Arab Water Council and other partners together, try to come with the principles for cooperation on the shared water resources in the Arab region, mainly based on the principles of the international laws of the UN 1997 Convention, in ECA in 1992, and the draft article of the law of transboundary aquifer. Coming to the end of this presentation, the key message and lesson learned we have. Yes, for peace and stability, shared water issues should be a priority in developing strategies and planning. Transboundary water issue is a long-term political process, as mentioned this morning. Needs wisdom, patience, qualification, and hydro-diplomacy, what we are here for it. Adequate knowledge, exchange of information, technology and science-based solutions, collaborative regional governance is a necessity, where we have appropriate institutional legal structure. And here I have to say solid, comprehensive, and self-enforced agreements. And establishment of a strong governing body as a river basin organization or a commission. To introduce new mechanisms to maximize the benefits. Integrated approaches, integrated water resource management, nexus approach, blue and green water, cost-benefit sharing, benefits for all. And economic integration is a key success. Appropriate finance is needed, of course, and long-term investment. And soft party is also important. The civil society, the media, the popular diplomacy should be there on board. In the Arab region, there is a dire need for development of regional platform, and the good news that's underway. And here there is a recommendation to establish an Arab water conflict facility, and here we would, as an Arab Water Council, can play a role in bringing the stakeholders together to bridge the political and technical gaps in the region. Lessons learned from success stories around in the world should be ahead of us. The role of international and regional partners, the role of the global community should be there to enforce the laws. This is one of the areas we miss this. Of course, on the top of all, political will and strong political support is needed. So at the end, in conclusion, the challenge of transboundary shared water resources are alarming, but so are the opportunities. There is no room to waste time anymore. It's our duty and obligation, dictated from our people, to work sincerely together, to explore and find solutions to overcome these challenges and to help our children have a better and prosperous future. This can be achieved if, I say if and only if, we are a real believer in great value of cooperation. With this, thank you very much.